Did you know that the 5 most common symptoms of hearing loss are muffled or blurred hearing, difficulty understanding what people are saying, especially when there's competing noises in the background, listening to the television or the radio at higher volumes than you did in the past, avoiding conversations and social interactions, and complaining that people are not articulating? If you think you have any of these symptoms, you may have hearing loss. Unfortunately, most people with hearing loss wait 7 years when they first notice some of these symptoms before they seek help. If you think you have a hearing loss or having difficulty understanding speech, schedule for a complete hearing evaluation with Dr. Daniel R. Schumeyer and Associates, audiologist in Johnson City or Greenville, Tennessee. Call 423-928-5771 for their Johnson City office and 423-638-2721 for their Greenville office, or check them out on their website at johnsoncityhearingcenter.com. Remember, you could be hearing from us.
Well, maybe if you could do the math, you could figure out why Ty Chandler would be the starting running back for the Tennessee Volunteers this upcoming season, but here's the skinny. John Kelly, he of, well, frankly, the marijuana arrest and having no hands, but also the breaking of tackles, is going to enter the NFL draft and forego his senior year. Not that much of a surprise. And to be brutally honest with you, the recruiting rankings after Butch Jones was fired, and really when he was on the hot seat, fell. Fell at one point all the way down to 60. Now the people that recruit Knicks, I guess, are saying Tennessee could have a top 20 class, I've mentioned, Tennessee is the new Mississippi State and the new Kansas State, it looks like. Whereas once they used to try to get players out of White Station or Dobbins-Bennett or Knox Catholic or wherever, now it's the Arizona Western Matadors, which is the big team in Yuma, Arizona, let me tell you. But that junior college, which is a good junior college, by the way, but a couple of players coming from the Vols from Yuma, that junior college. And, that was how Mississippi State and Kansas State really rebuilt their programs as well. Some people, Carl Torbush included, would believe that that is slumming. I don't think anybody's going to think it's slumming if it results in the resurrection of the Tennessee Volunteers. So, regardless, but there's talk about where the recruiting, it's going to fall. But the other thing that I want to say is the current crop of players. Look, and one guy I really want to know about is Jarrett Guarantano. Nobody's really talking about this, but Jarrett Guarantano went to Tennessee because of Butch Jones. Now, yeah, he's got to look at himself and say, you know what, I can be a starter for 3 more years at an SEC program. That's pretty good. But at the same time, there's not even any guarantee that he'll beat out Quentin Dormady next year or Will McBride. Point is, even a coach with a losing record, even a coach that may have played injured players, even a coach that may have potentially gotten players injured, is going to have some loyalty from the players that he recruited. John Kelly, who let's not forget is from Michigan, is among them. He has no great love for, that's why I hate the term Vol for Life. I hate that. It's propaganda and all this. He is going to be an NFL player next year. He's going to play for a contract. They are going to pay him. There's a reason why when Peyton Manning does a Papa John's commercial, it's the Colts mascot and the Broncos mascot that shows up, not Smokey. Okay? There is a real reason for that. And, so the point being is that John Kelly did not grow up in Tennessee rooting for the Orange and the Big Orange and having this great love of the program that would keep him around. He was not so beloved that, I've got some unfinished business, a Heisman Trophy, a national championship to win as Peyton Manning had. The money's always going to be there. I'm going to be the number 1 pick if I go or not. And plus, my family is well-to-do. Yeah, I think I'll stick around Tennessee for another year. Hey, it beats sitting on the bench of the New York Jets. That's what he would have thought had he left that year early and he returned to Tennessee as well. His overwhelming popularity, I'm sure, had a lot to do with it, too. If you're beloved, yeah, do you really want to go, even for millions or such? But John Kelly isn't that way. John Kelly is somebody who, is facing a drug charge, a misdemeanor perhaps, but a drug charge, was suspended for the Kentucky game, dropped the pass against Florida, adept at breaking tackles, yes. Will he be missed? Yeah, I think the Vols would be stronger if they had him. But it's not a surprise. It is absolutely not a surprise whatsoever. And you know what? More power to John Kelly. Really. But anyway, those great running backs that the Vols had last year, you had Hurd, you had Kamara, you had Kelly. They're all gone. And it's Ty Chandler's team next year. That's not the worst thing in the world. I liked what I saw from Ty Chandler. He's not the bowling ball that Kelly is, but you know what? He's a more deceptive runner. There's an advantage with Chandler. He played well against Kentucky. It wasn't his fault that the Vols lost that game. I like Ty Chandler. I don't really worry about Kelly leaving for the NFL a year early. Maybe the Vols are that much weaker, but I think that's something they can overcome. They're losing somebody from a position of strength. Unlike, say, if they would lose someone from the offensive line, from anywhere on the defense. This is a team that was 4-8 last year. We're going to miss Colton Jumper. I want you to consider that. Considering how Colton Jumper's career started at Tennessee, he led the team in sacks at the middle linebacker position, for crying out loud, last year. So Kelly in the NFL draft, Ty Chandler, he'll be the starter, barring some sort of a surprise, a new recruit or whatever, an injury, next season for the Tennessee Volunteers. Who's going to win the national championship? I've been looking at these games, got some thoughts. Of course, they kick off on the 1st. I guess I could say these games are subject to change on what I think, but what I've been looking at here a little bit, I guess go on and make a statement right now, how I feel. Of course, right now, let's see here. The big story was Natrez Patrick of Georgia testing positive on a drug test, and he'll miss the game against Oklahoma. I've been high on the Georgia Bulldogs all year long. Heck, I think the Georgia Bulldogs underachieved. I told you they'd go 12-0 this year. Well, I guess they went 11-1 and won the SEC. I actually thought they'd just win the SEC East and probably lose to Alabama in the SEC title game. But, if you had said after 13 games, what do you think the record would be? I would have said 12-1, but I just, 12-0 makes it sound sexy. And all that. But I'm the guy who's been on the Georgia Bulldogs all year long. Okay. I don't know, though, down a linebacker and with a very basic run game, if that's the team that I think is going to beat the Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback and a high-scoring offense. Even in the Big 12 where they don't play any defense. It is the Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, I know Jason White won the Heisman from Oklahoma years ago and all this. I just asked this question. Down a linebacker for Georgia, in this day and age, do you want to take the 3 yards in a cloud of dust team with Chubb and Michael, and granted they usually get more than 3 yards a carry, or do you want the Heisman Trophy winner in the backfield, the passing attack, the 400 yards a game? Which offense do you want? I'm inclined to choose Oklahoma in this game. I've loved the Georgia Bulldogs all year long, but yeah, I'm going to take them. In the next game, Clemson and Alabama. Boy, Clemson was a second away from losing last year. Alabama has just been the cock of the walk in college football ever since Nick Saban has taken over. It's not that I think that Clemson can't win. I think they can. But I'm going to pick Alabama. The reason why? You go broke betting against Alabama. So look for that. My pick would be Oklahoma and Alabama, two teams that wear red. A real red state rivalry. Of course, Sports Illustrated has Georgia and Clemson. They're not that far apart. That'd be a fun geographic thing. All about the South, though, right? Tri-City Sports Now. Colin Coward's next. See you next week.
1420 NBC Sports Radio Tri-Cities on Facebook.